Welcome back to World War II Weekend. In this video, we're taking a closer look at the B-25 Panchito, learning more about it.
You'll see, there ain't no padding in this thing. This is a combat airplane.
And even the Doolittle Raid.
It's airborne. The first Army bomber ever to be launched from a carrier is safely in the air.
And then we'll send it off for its next flight.
Area which stretches all the way from Le Havre to Cherbourg. This new German report places the Allies in action directly.
I'll go around and get it now.
Try and see that thing.
In the cockpit, it would be about 40,000 hours of flying experience. I've been flying the B-25 for 25 years. Max has been flying it for 15 years. So we're both the mechanics who maintain the airplane too. So it is up here in the bombardiers area. See that square right there? You can see that's an escape hatch. See that red rectangle?
Yep.
On the inside of that red rectangle is another one of these red emergency T's. Remember this: red, bad; yellow, good. Red, bad. Don't touch anything red unless it's emergency. Red means emergency. Yellow, yes, like a grab bar to climb in the airplane is yellow. There's a red one right next to it. Don't grab the red one. That would take all the pressure out of the hydraulic system and cause the landing gear to collapse. So you don't grab the red one, you grab the yellow one. Same thing throughout the airplane. Red is emergency. So if you had to get out here, one-handed again, grab that, throw it out. If you can't get out the front of the airplane, you crawl over top of the bomb bay. It's not easy, but none of you guys are really big. Get over the top, go in, and the escape hatch on the side of the airplane, a great big round hole, is out. We take that out when we're flying passengers because for people who's got cameras and all, and for ventilation.
Well,
yeah, you just climb out there. Whenever you're moving around the airplane, you'll see there ain't no padding in this thing. This is a combat airplane, so there's a lot of sharp edges. Be sure you're holding on to something as you move around. Your mat, so you're going to be up in the jump seat for takeoff, right?
Third best seat in the house.
You know what's that?
Third best seat in the house.
Well, me personally, I like the waistband windows. If I'm going cross country with a crew and I'm not having to fly, that's where I want to be. Sitting back there, the seats are comfortable. I got a window right here. Somebody comes back there, I got a 50 cal gun, they piss me off. But when we tell you to take your seatbelts off, then you can take turns, one at a time. You come up here, you lay down on your back there in the floor under the turn. Fold the seat, the footrest up, lay down, stick your head in, and there's two tubes in the top of the tunnel. Use those two tubes to pull yourself up. Do not try to do it on your hands and knees. You won't make it. You'll get stuck, or you tear your shirts, or believe me.
Is there a little cart that you start on?
No, sir. That's the B-29. Go up there, in first, feet to the rear. Pull yourself up. See that yellow bar?
Just beyond the yoke.
Grab hold of the yellow bar, pull yourself up into seating position, and then sit down over here. Go back. See where he just came up? If you try to do it any other way, you will have problems. And there's some people that don't listen to that brief, and they try it, and they have problems. They get stuck, they tear their shirt, they have all kinds of problems. There's a couple of junction boxes in that tunnel that you get.
The top gun can move, right? The bottom is fixed.
These are fixed. That one's flexible.
They're both fixed. Okay.
Both of these are fixed guns. They're fired by the pilot. Same as the package guns on the side for strafing. The bomb sight that's here right now was made by one of the Doolittle Raiders. Horace Crouch, who was a bombardier navigator on crew number 8, he made that in his workshop, a replica of what he used on the Doolittle Raid. He gave it to me for the 60th anniversary reunion in Columbia, South Carolina. So I took my Norden sight out and I put that in for that reunion. And then about 3 months later, we used that to fly over his interment at his burial. And I've never had, I won't take it out.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Because I've organized Doolittle Raider events all over the country ever since. For the last 25 years, I'm an honorary Raider. So I've done all the big reunions at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. All of those were all events that my wife said she'd divorce me if I ever tried to do another.
So he sat right over the site.
He sat right behind the site. There was originally in the big models, there was a little bicycle seat that he sat on.
So I mean, it's a dovetail sight, just like a rifle.
That's what it is.
That's,
you know, your altitude and your airspeed and what kind of bomb you're going to be dropping. They had it on a
trajectory,
index card. They had Ross Greening, one of the Raiders, is the one that came up with this concept. It's called the Mark Twain Bombsight because it cost them 18 cents to make them in the workshop down at Eglin.
I love it.
They couldn't use the Norden sight. Norden sight, they were going to be bombing 1,500 foot. Norden sights for 30,000 foot bombing. So they needed something for low level. They could also expected to have 50% losses over Tokyo, Yokohama, Kobe.
Wow.
So they couldn't lose. The sight was no good anyway at low level bombing.
Right.
So Ross Greening came up with this concept, and they all had on a 3x5 index card, the bombardiers, in their jacket. It altitude and airspeed, because they all had either 500-pound concussion bombs or they had incendiaries. And based on which bomb load they were dropping, Doolittle had all incendiaries. Then with certain altitude and airspeed, you would set the protractor at that angle, and they were deadly accurate. How much is a wind, even a 30-knot wind, going to blow a 500-pound bomb dropping 1,500 feet? That far?
Yeah.
It don't matter from that low.
Wow.
You know, a 30-knot wind from a bomb dropped at 30,000 feet, yeah, you got time to run away from it. You know, it's going to be blown so far away. But not these. Very, very accurate. Another one. Stand on the footrest and stand up and look around the gun turn. Do not try to crank those cranks. The cranks were for the armorer to service the guns. The bottom half of the turret is not in there. The bottom half of the turret had the electric motors, the armor plate, the ammunition boxes, all the stuff that ran the turret. Those little handles were for the gunner, the armorer, excuse me, to service the guns. You can crank the turret around, you can crank the guns up and down. You will most likely break a finger if you do. I've had 2 passengers break fingers because they didn't listen to me. And they get up there and they start trying. We got tie wraps on them even try to do it. You start turning that turret around, hey, this is really cool, until the wind load gets it, whips it back, and that thing starts spinning backwards and it breaks your finger.
Oh, wow.
So don't try to turn the turret, please. You got the camera, don't lean your head back against the turret so you can look through your bifocal, look at your camera. One of my own crew members did that, put his head right through the plexiglass.
Oh, gosh.
$7,200.
I believe it.
That's what it cost me to have another one built. That was the original turret. He broke it, leaning his head back against it. That plexiglass is blown plexiglass, and around that area right there, it's probably 1/16 of an inch thick. Its strength is in its integrity. And as soon as it cracks, man, it just goes to hell.
Yep.
And that's what happened to us that day. It cracked, piece blew out, and wind got in it, and blew the whole damn thing off the airplane.
Yep.
Made a hell of a mess. And put on one of the earmuffs. This airplane's loud. You ain't gonna believe how loud this thing is until you get going. Put on the earmuff to use to transit going back and forth up into the nose. When you get back to your seat, put your headset back on, hang the earmuffs back up.
Does A&R help at all?
What's that?
Does A&R help at all with the?
Yes, it helps tremendous.
Okay.
We use all Bose A20 headsets on the flight deck.
Well worth every penny. And what did others have to say about their flight?
It was tiny there, but you know, hey, you know, I have tremendous admiration for those guys. They do it every day, you know.
Now it's time for a new group to enjoy a taste of history. But if you love radials like I do, turn it up.
6 to be on traffic. 12 o'clock, 4 miles, orbiting with 6 on